would love to acknowledge that we are on the unceded and unsurrendered traditional territory of the Coast-Shinshien Sinalic-speaking people, and I am honored to be a guest on these traditional lands. I also love to share something that I'm doing in my reclaiming my heritage as well as truth and reconciliation, and I would love to share a book called My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies by Arisma Menachem, and it is a beautiful book. I also would love to say Happy New Year and welcome to 2024 for those who are in 2024. And for those who are yet to celebrate their new year, I know that it's coming. So adoption of agenda. Trustee Dalton, Trustee Horn, all in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful. And I would also like to note that we have regrets from Trustee Meyer and Trustee.
Excuse me.
And now I would love to pass this over to Andrew Samuel to share our presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight, we are pleased to have Carrie Levelton with us and one of her students from Prince Rupert Middle School, and they have a very exciting, engaging presentation for us. All yours, Carrie.
All right. Where would you like us?
Let's see.
Wherever
Yeah,
They'll find you.
that's good.
Yeah.
Cameras will find you.
We have some pictures to share, but we also want to tell you what we've been doing. So I'm Carrie Levelton. I'm the principal of the middle school, and this is Marcus.
Hello, my name's Marcus. I am the leader. I am the leader in our leadership council. Things that happens in our leadership council. We meet once a week. We help plan events within our school, and so far we have planned and fundraised for the grade 8 dance, Sixer Mixer, fun days, which include the pajama day, crazy hair day, toucan scarf day, red and green day, and our spirit day, is to wear Crocs and sandals. Our next big event we are planning is the grade 8 formal dance.
Right.
Pretty busy.
Yeah. Just you wait. So things our school has been offering this year. We do breakfast club daily. So far, we've done 3 pancake breakfasts. We have snacks daily. We have apples, granola bars, fruit and veggies. We do a lunch program. We have special lunches, Subway lunch once a month. We do hot dog sales every second Friday, and we do popcorn sales every week. We have done many school activities this year. We have done Sixer Mixer, grade group assemblies. We've had a Halloween fun day. We've done a pumpkin carving contest, orange shirt day, Terry Fox run, reconciliation walk. Science World came to our school. We've gone skating, we've gone swimming. We've had a wellness day. We do badminton at the Civic Center. We've gone curling. We run a hockey academy. We've gone to gymnastics. We do outdoor weekly activities with Connor Spear from Spirit North. We've had a winter band concert. We've done a gingerbread war. We've had a student volleyball game. We've had a Every Child Matters heart ceremony. We've gone to Find Your Fit. We've gone to the museum. We've gone to the Lester Center to watch a movie. We've done an egg drop. We've gone fishing. We've gone hiking. We've harvested potatoes and onions, which we cooked at our breakfast club. We had a Christmas craft night. And we've had the Monroe floor hockey tournament.
Things we can do for our extracurricular: volleyball, basketball, after school activities, outdoor club, knitting club, Minecraft club, drama club, skills club, card club, architecture club, Pokemon club, doodle club, chess club, Jace's WWE club, debate, jazz band, concert band, homework club. We also rotate grades to the gym at lunch and nut break.
Okay. things that are coming up.
Good heavens.
Our band is going to Edmonton, which Barkus is part of. We have three ski trips. We have kayaking at the pool and kayaking club, which is starting in February. We have Carnival, which includes our staff versus student hockey game. We have concert band playing at Acropolis. We have ancient civilization, medieval fair, Butsy's planned, French immersion planned, Indigenous Day, going to the gyms in our town, band tour to elementary schools, Amazing Race, band in the Sea Fest, band at Terrace Music Festival, and much, much more.
Wow.
So we wanted to share all the things because we think it's important that you know what goes on at our school, and we do a lot of fun things there. And we have some pictures, some of them are from last year, so it shows kind of the basketball games, and some are from this year, so. Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Oh, we're gonna put it on the video. Well, oh, shoot, that was up.
Mm.
What is Carnival?
We're looking for February 9th. So are you gonna play?
Better. I'll be here. I'm back then. So it's
Okay.
good. It's a good day.
Wow. Mm.
That's a sixer mixer. That's Connor from Spirit North. He teaches us tarps and fire making.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. And Marcus, your role in the band, what is your role in the band?
I'm a trumpet player,
Nice.
Awesome.
Are you looking forward to your trip away?
definitely.
And have you traveled away before?
Yes, I have.
And where was that to?
That was,
Did you go to Toronto?
I did go to.
Toronto, yeah, that was great, yeah.
Toronto.
And that was good, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, awesome, yeah.
Thank you,
For
Marcus.
finding out and
Good
finding
to see
information.
how these young people are evolving. I love to see all these wonderful things that you guys do in the school, because it's not just activities. It's an education, right?
Yeah.
It's bringing everything together. That's great. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming this evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing all of the amazing things. My goodness, your list. And it's only January. And also, just, I love seeing how many photos are outside.
I
And
know.
Yes.
how great
I
it's
know.
like to be outside. Thank you so much.
That's where kids need to be. That's where we were.
Thank you so,
outside.
so much.
You're welcome.
Right. That's cool. Now we can move on to approval of the minutes of the board. From our open meeting held in December. Trustee Warren, seconded trustee Beal, all in favor? So moved. Then, item 4, necessity of the closed meeting.
Make a motion.
Yes, thank you,
Um,
trustee Beal,
Approve 4.1 through 4.9.
seconded trustee Warren, all in favor? Wonderful. Yes, correspondence 5.1, we have none, and 5.2 also none. We can move right along to item 6, and I believe we are hearing from Sandy Pond. Are you able to unmute Sandy? How about now?
Everything will be-
Thank you.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. I will be doing, starting with 6.1.1 field trips. They're listed on page 8 in the package. Anybody has any questions about that?
Not seeing any.
Okay. And 6.1.2 enrollment. We have our enrollment graph on page 9 in the package. And our enrollment went up by 12, so we are at 1,850 students currently. So that always makes us happy to increase our numbers. Any questions regarding that?
I'm not seeing any.
Okay. And 6.1.3, upcoming projects, learning other. As you know, December was a month of celebration. And so usually when we report, we're reporting on the past month. And I think Carrie did a really great job of describing some of the things that happened at the middle school. And many of those kind of special events were happening at all of our schools as in terms of celebration and in terms of learning. They had spirit theme days or spirit theme weeks, and a gym riot at Charles Hayes, a winter concert at Conrad. Roosevelt actually had a winter family feast tonight. And Lachine had a winter fun day where the kids went to 12 different stations. Pine Ridge had caroling in the gym. They all seemed to have winter craft nights where families came in. And the elementary schools, they've been doing this for a while, and I think it's such a wonderful thing. They held Christmas bazaars so that students could purchase Christmas gifts for their families for 25 cents. So that's always a fun thing for the kids. Also, in our Power Up Pancake breakfasts happened at all of our schools in December. And well, some of them actually started in November. And Natalie at the Port helped by pulling volunteers from all the businesses that are supporting the Breakfast Club of Canada for School District 52. And so there were lots of volunteers in our schools, and the kids got to eat pancakes and sometimes sausage and fruit. And so that's always very celebratory. Also in December, the musical, Something's Rotten, closed on December 2nd, and that was highly successful. And as Carrie mentioned, Science World came to present in our schools. So lots happening always, and good stuff. We continue to grow our before and after school care at Pine Ridge and Conrad. And I think I mentioned in the past that at Pine Ridge, we've actually hired a second person because the numbers have grown. And at Conrad, we're close to that, so that we could very soon be needing to hire someone else as well. I think, one thing that I just wanted to apologize for is that I'd hoped to have some data about FSA participation related to provincial data for this meeting, but I should have it for next meeting. So just an update on that. And then finally, and I'm sort of the model here for this, we're all aware that our community is under attack of viruses. As a matter of fact, I got a text while I was away from somebody saying, "Don't come home. Don't come home. We don't want you to get sick." But anyway, so there are some interesting viruses going around, and we just need to continue to remind our staff and our students and ourselves to stay home when we're sick. Don't bring it to work. Don't bring it to school. And continue to practice proper hand washing techniques, because that's the most effective way to protect you from viruses. And that's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
Just do that being said, if students wanted masks, they could pick those up at the school, correct? At any school? Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for your report, Sandy. And
My
thank you
pleasure.
for when you should maybe be resting. So thank you. All right, committee reports. On to finance and, oh, sorry. Thank you, Secretary Treasurer.
Thank you. So 7.1, December 2023 expenditure reports. So I'll just go to the second report first. So we've printed the budget based on whether the category is based off of 10 months or 12 months. For example, the teacher salary category is based off of a 10-month period. They start in September, so at December 31st, they are 4 months into the year. Whereas the principals and vice principals are based off of a 12-month period. So at December 31st, they are 6 months into the year. And then just a reminder, so the year-to-date budget for teachers is 40% of the budget at December 31st, and principals is at 50%. And the EAs and support staff are paid bi-weekly, but some of them are 10-month employees and some are 12-month employees. So we've trended the budget to reflect this. At this stage of the year, these variances aren't overly meaningful as we're currently working on the amended budget. The amended budget reflects the changes that have taken place since the budget was approved last spring. So we're using these year-to-date figures to validate the figures in our amended budget, which we're working on. And then if you just go back to the first report. I just wanted to mention that we haven't reviewed this report in a lot of detail at this point, as we're focusing on the amended budget right now. And for the amended budget, we are comparing the year-to-date actuals to our revised budget numbers. Any questions on that before I move on?
Trustee Horn.
Thank you for the report and your explanation to say why the numbers are like what they are. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, next item, 7.2, December 2023 Operations Department Report. Any questions on that? Trustee one.
Water quality advisory, is that the city water quality advisory that was lifted? Because we have had water quality issues in the past. Yes, true, okay, just want to make sure about that. And then, I'd like to have a thank you to the operations staff for cleaning up over Christmas time and doing a great job about that. And then also a question about the bus. So the field trips has been using that extra bus. So how's the extra bus been working out? So this says it's been good, but what's the explanation of that?
Oh, James Warburton joining us? Oh, calling Mr. Warburton, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Warburton, if you would like to come off of mute. If that is indeed you, James. Wonderful.
Okay, how's that? Do you got me now?
Wonderful, thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for the patience on that. Definitely the extra bus has been used quite regularly. We have a really nice schedule that we're keeping, recording all the trips that the bus is being used, and I'm hoping around spring break we'll have a new update with the total numbers of how many trips out of town the bus has done, and there's even some trips in town that's done as well too.
So has the bus then facilitated more trips than we would have done before?
Because we have two large buses now. And so before, what was happening is we had the one large bus that would do our morning run and afternoon run, and then that would sometimes be available on the weekends. But if it impacted the week pickups and drop-offs that we had, then we would not be able to do those trips, and the teams would have to go charter. But now I don't think that there has been any charters, not that I've heard, this year. So we've actually been able to send some of the weekends. We send both of our buses out because there'd be two teams sharing one bus, two teams sharing the other bus. So now there's 4 teams that get to travel out over the weekend. And our field trip bus, it'll leave sometimes on a Thursday, and the teams will play on a Friday, Saturday, and then come back on a Sunday. So then it doesn't impact our morning and afternoon pickups at all. So the extra bus is definitely seeing lots of good traction and an increase in the ability to keep providing these trips.
So thank you. So that sounds like the buses work very well for our students to increase their time playing team sports together, and so increasing their education opportunities by doing that and having them travel. So thank you, James, for that report.
Thank you. I have trustee Beal and then trustee Bell.
I just have a quick question. James, I see that there's a new rope across the Westview, where the gate is. Is that because, are we still seeing vandalism up at that school?
Yes, we are indeed. So it's been a never-ending saga to be painting over the vandalism that happens up there. And then we've been watching to kind of see what kind of activity happens, and sometimes people will drive in and they'll drive all the way around the back of the school, and we don't know why that's happening. And so we made the decision to just put that rope back up again, to stop people from driving in there. Now we have cleaned things up there, like people will dump old mattresses and pallets and sometimes used oil and a bunch of things that we've picked up from around the Westview property. So so just to minimize that, it kind of made sense to put our lock back on there again.
Good to hear. I just noticed it because I live up on Second Avenue. I also noticed that there are a lot of people frequenting that area by foot. So I'm not sure how we're gonna combat that, but it worries me because what if someone is hurt on their property? This is the thing, is I don't even see no trespassing signs up there. Is there no way that we should be putting them up there just because at the risk factors, right? Risk management, should we not have no trespassing like everywhere up there?
You know, that's like something that's definitely up for debate for sure. Because a lot of people do like use it, like the residents of Prince Rupert frequently take their dogs up there to throw a ball and stuff like that, which is great for the community. So totally up to the wishes on the board on that one, whether we want to kind of encourage that or discourage that, or how you'd like to proceed.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion. Sorry, but I believe that I'd like to make a motion that we install no trespassing signs in the Westview School property. I don't think our property but see if I can get a seconder first.
I just wanted to know, you want to talk about it or you
Yeah.
just
Well,
want?
I
Motion
motion,
rolled out,
and then I'll talk
motion
about it.
rolled out, discussion.
I need a seconder.
Trustee Dawson?
I see, because I live just not that many doors down from Westview. I see a lot of people on that property. And it's not just people with their dogs, it's people up there drinking. And probably other things. I feel that we're putting ourselves at risk if someone does hurt themselves because we potentially could be sued. If you look at the act, like we're a school, it's still under a school. So I would like to, try to shore up the liability on our part by putting proper signage up there.
Trustee Horn?
Yeah, I agree, it's a good idea. I also do though see people using the school, as James said, because there's a big playground area and park area in the school ground, and there's not a lot of that in that area for people to use.
There's
Not
a
a
park
lot,
right
there
next
is,
door.
but not a lot, right? And so it's easier, they just go there. And having no trespass sign won't dissuade them from doing that, but it will give us more rights that we've at least signed the place properly when, if something does happen. Yeah, so I agree that that's the right thing to do.
Would anyone else like to speak to this motion? I just have a question on it's a school ground. It's used in ways as well as other school grounds are. We don't have no trespassing signs up on our other schools, correct?
But it's a vacant piece of
Yeah,
property.
thank you, right?
It can't be managed. When it can't be managed, we're at higher risk. I mean, if it was like a school property, it's a little different that there's students going to the facility, but there isn't. The school's being abused by citizens of Prince Rupert for activities that aren't conducive to what the school act says. From dropping mattresses, drinking, eventually there's going to be a fire and that school's going to be on fire. I'm telling you, I'm concerned about the school.
Thank you. Trustee
Also
Field, trustee
graffiti
Horn?
that James had said as well, right? So because it's nobody there, people feel it's opportunity to come in as opposed to a school that's populated.
Thank you for that.
And I think just based off of what he's saying, it'd be a good idea to do something. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, but just some signage.
So we have a motion on the floor. We have a seconder. Would anyone else like to speak to this motion? All in favor? So moved. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, please.
James, I want to know, what do we do with the buses in the summer?
James, you're muted if you're speaking.
There we go. Sorry, it
Thank
takes
you.
quite a while for it to unmute when I press the speak button. Sorry about that. Could you repeat the question one more time, please?
Yes, what do you do with the buses in the summer?
Oh yeah, in the summertime. So that's we typically park them, and then we undergo our inspections in August every year.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Mr. Warburton? Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here tonight, James.
No problem. Thank you.
7.3, December 2023, Information Technology Department report. Any questions on that?
Trustee Horn?
I'd like to thank IT for putting in smart boards in Roosevelt. Thank you very much for doing that, IT department, which you represent today.
Anything else? Well, not seeing any, thank you so much. IT department, and thank you, Vicky. Wonderful, committee reports, finance and building.
Yeah, the finance and building met, last week in regards to, a few items, and one of them's, well, two of them's on here. The EV chargers, 2024-25 minor capital. Brittany has the details. Could you, apprise the audience what these, well, first, we'll start with the first one, the EV chargers.
Yeah, so I will summarize that for you, and James, feel free to add anything if you'd like to afterwards. So the Natural Resources Canada funded a portion of the provincial funding that was awarded to us when we were committed to stack the provincial and federal funding. When we filed the final paperwork, Natural Resources Canada noted that a portion of this funding is actually NRCan funding and it doesn't meet their funding guidelines. So the funding amount that was required is 80,000. The good news is that the minister will fund this amount, but in order to submit that funding request, we require a board resolution.
I'll make that resolution.
I'll second that.
Seconded trustee Horn. William, yes, trustee Horn.
You good?
I'm good,
Yeah.
go ahead.
What amount of requirement of these judges do you foresee, or is this question, maybe it would be for Andrew?
Sorry, just to clarify if I
Yeah.
understand your question, the 80,000 is the amount of funding required, like left, that we need funded. So we're requesting 80,000,
Also, you need 80,000
Yes.
from the board,
or no,
No,
from the ministry.
board.
from the ministry, so the
Ministry.
full thing is funded.
Yes.
Yeah, I got that idea. So ask for Andrew maybe, what would be the use of these charges? Is there use for them? We are foreseeing that Canada's required that all new vehicles sold are electric. I'm assuming that in 10 years or whatever, right?
Right, trustee Horn, the federal government and provincial governments have signed the climate accords, and to that end, they are moving government departments towards environmentally friendly vehicles such as electric vehicles. And yeah, there are strict requirements on which cars can be sold by 2030 in Canada, and a certain percentage of them must be EV. So when two different government agencies offered us funding to install these devices, we thought, okay, this is a good chance to get into it. But currently, we also offer them to the public to charge their vehicles, and there's a fee that they pay. We anticipate that maintenance will start acquiring electric vehicles in their next round of purchases. So we will be prepared for that.
And that was gonna be my next question. So maintenance would use these charges, and would people using the children come to school, would they have to pay if they were to charge?
They would have to pay.
And would our school staff have to pay?
Yes. Staff would
School
have to pay
staff
as
would
well.
also have to pay the same as if
Yeah.
a parent. And then I get the idea, you would want to install these when you're offered the money, because if you wait, you may not get offered the money again.
No, but sorry, to
Right.
clarify, the two
They're already
chargers have already been installed.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to cover the cost,
Correct.
which is why that was done that way.
Yeah, correct. And so
Yeah.
this is a request to the ministry that.
Yeah.
To fully fund us.
Yes.
I have a question. Do you foresee more expense about these coming onto the board?
Maintenance,
that-
are you asking about, I was gonna ask the same
For
thing.
maintenance, what we would run into, Madam Chair and trustees, we would run into a problem if we had to charge a full fleet of our, like if all of our fleet moved to EV plus the buses, we would
Need more capacity.
need a lot more chargers, and those currently, there's no funding for additional chargers.
So what we currently have, though, wouldn't need any, that you foresee maintenance.
No, they're relatively new.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. They're not like a heat pump where we need to go out and do maintenance on them every 5 years or something, nothing?
No, it's just, I mean, the nozzles can break if people drive away with the nozzle in.
Well, we
No.
hope that they would do that,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, okay, thank you.
That's why my house was missing its water tap.
Yeah.
So, but what are you asking about this?
We did the resolution.
Oh, yes, thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Any further discussion on this motion? Not seeing any. All in favor? Wonderful. So moved.
And then I'll refer to sprinkler system, so I'll defer that to Brittany for our secretary treasurer to give us an update on that as well.
So this is for the current year 23-24 minor capital for the sprinkler system update. Or sorry, upgrade. Our mechanical engineers have identified issues at Conrad. All sprinkler systems are at the end of the life and need full replacement. This will be about 1.7 million phased over a number of years. They've also identified issues at Roosevelt and Charles Hayes. So we're requesting from the ministry to fund 550,000 in the current year. This is extra money that the ministry was able to fund us based on money that was unspent at other districts. And due to the fact that this is a life safety issue, it puts us higher up on the priority list. So again, to submit this funding request from the ministry, we require a board resolution for this as well.
I'll make that motion.
Seconded. Trustee Dalton. Do you care to speak to this motion?
No, I think that these are critical things that we need to be paying attention to. The safety of our children and the fact that the government's allowing us this funding. I appreciate it.
Trustee Horn?
I would make note that it is difficult to get people to do such an upgrade. I don't believe this would be done in-house. It would be contracted because it's specialty item.
Yeah, I have a sprinkler system in my house.
Yeah.
It's a specialty. You have to get outside contractors
Yeah.
involved. And they're very hard to obtain, but they are out there.
But at least if we get the process rolling and get them booked, and eventually it'll get done when they are available. But yes, I agree that upgrades need to be done, and we need to have the sprinkler systems working.
And I'm sure James is aware of
Yes.
what's necessary.
Yeah.
So we do have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Thank you. So moved.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Trustee Beal. So 8.2, framework for enhanced student learning.
Have not met since the last meeting.
Thank you. 8.3, PC.
Also have not met since the last meeting, and no correspondence on that matter.
8.4, Indigenous Education Council. We have not met since the last meeting. And 8.5, Trustee Horn, Policy Committee.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this 6140 role of the trustee and trustee code of conduct.
Seconder for that motion, Trustee Beal. Would you care to speak to that motion?
Yes, the motion was sent out for review to stakeholders and it returned with no changes.
Would anyone else like to speak to this motion? Great, so we have a motion on the floor. All in favor? So moved. Thank you.
And then for review, motion to review 7110 trustee remuneration and expense allowance
Sorry,
policy.
just for correction, we have none to review. We
Yeah.
have a policy for discussion.
Oh, I was reading off of what this says.
I'm just
Says
looking
none.
at our agenda.
Policies review,
Says for discussion consideration.
not in mine. Okay,
On your agenda.
on the agenda, I got you. It's different to the, what says, oh, that's in the minutes, that's why. Sorry about that.
All good.
I should have read not from the minutes. Policies review none, so we'll move on to, so no need for a motion. Policy for discussion would be 7110 trustee remuneration and expense allowance policy. And so I'll start us off with, is the policy committee had some issues with the existing policy. We've sent out some questions to the trustees, which some replied back to, so thank you to the trustees for that. one of the big questions was, because of its monetary, the trustees were concerned whether it should be discussed in the open meeting, but because the policy that needs to happen. So, but we don't have to get too crazy. So, but one of the big concerns is the fact that, community members even say that they do not wish to run as a trustee if they're not compensated enough for the time that they have to put in to cover their wages, childcare, they have to travel. And so we wanted to make sure that the board was agreeable to what this policy says. It's not, we have not had a policy in place that's similar to any other boards in the north that we can find. And I'm wondering if the board has also asked that policies from other boards be presented and perhaps discussed that way. And so I'd ask if they wish to do that, then maybe we'll get that done.
Thank you, trustee Beal.
Yeah, and I understand what James is saying as far as remuneration is concerned and people taking time off of work, I have to. But I gotta be honest with you, that's what the remuneration's for. When you run for public office, you're running because you care about the interest you're running for. You're running for the student body, you're running to protect students and ensuring that they get a good education. So I just wanted to clarify that. That's what the remuneration's for. It's for you to be able to take that day off if you need to go to a meeting to Vancouver or to Terrace or wherever. That's why you get provided that remuneration. And so frankly, I never had a concern about that because I understand that people don't want to run for boards because the remuneration may be a lot lower than they expect it to be. But that's the choice you make. And I mean, do you get less caliber people running for boards? I mean, I don't think we're any less than anyone else out there. So I just look at the remuneration as it is. And I think city councils and any other boards would agree that the remuneration, they take on the job, they run for the 4 years. And yeah, is there a stipend increase? Is there like a cost of living increase? Of course there is, because cost of living goes up even in your daily life, your salary. So, I don't know where we're gonna go with this policy. I'm just stating how I feel about the policy and how I feel about the remuneration. That's it.
Would anyone else like to add to this discussion? Trustee Dalton.
Actually, I don't want to speak so much about that, but what I see here is about the tipping percentage outline and such a thing. So in some of the boards that I've been working with, what happened is that they allowed an incidental amount of money. And that was covered. So the meal was the price of the meal. And so when you submitted that, that's what it was. Because it all depends when you take your fundings and that sort of thing, especially in smaller organization. And then we added an incidental. Like, listen, you're not gonna go wild with the incidental. The one that we have after was $17.60. But you know, it covers the little incidental. Because you're not gonna go and have a $10,000 party evening, so 1760 should cover that. That's that, yeah.
Thank you.
I myself personally, I like the division. This is what the food is, and this is for incidental. It's just my idea. But I think we should solve that somehow, because do I tip, don't I tip, or something like that? I mean, most of us at one time in our life have worked in the hospitality industry. Yeah, try not tipping.
Trustee Horn.
So the board has asked that perhaps we give a suggestion based off of other boards' policies. So perhaps if the board wishes, that may be the best option here. And then it comes back to the committee to decide. To present back to the board.
I would say that.
So not hearing any opposition to that, then that's how I would suggest we proceed. And that's something that not staff to do, but something that the committee will do. Okay.
Wonderful, thank you.
And that's it for the policy committee.
Wonderful. On to trustee Horn for district technology steering committee.
And did not sit since the last meeting.
Number 9, old business. None, I believe, correct?
Correct.
And nothing for new business.
Nothing.
So information items, we have 11.1. We have a non-instructional day for elementary and middle schools, January 19th, which is this Friday, I believe. We have a welcome to French immersion sessions, January 23rd and 24th. Would you like to speak to that, or would you like Mr. McPhee?
Oh, I see Mr. McDowell is on with us
Yes.
today. If Mr. McDowell could just address some of the exciting things that he has planned.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. McPhee.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure you can hear me, that's all. I just like James, I'm messing around with some technology myself. I apologize.
All good. Thank you for this.
No worries, absolutely. So I believe the question was referring to the upcoming Welcome to French Immersion sessions, correct?
We'd just love for you to share a little bit of what you have planned.
Yeah, much like last year with Andre Michaud, we were basically just making a couple sessions available for any interested parents who have children who are 5 years and looking to enter kindergarten. The sessions were more just basic information, making parents comfortable about any questions they might have, what kind of expectations they were. The big message we kind of want to get across is that obviously this program is available for anybody. Doesn't matter if they have a French background or anything. New Canadians, doesn't matter. And then highlight some of the advantages of the French immersion program for students and how they can go about registering for the program come February 1st.
Wonderful. And is that all day on the 23rd and 24th, or are there certain times?
Nope, it starts at 7:00. Yeah, I believe last year they ran about an hour or so. And parents, we made them available on 2 nights. They don't have to attend both. We just have 2 nights available just simply because parents are busy running around their children to all the different programs available. And so having a secondary night available for them was kind of helpful. Sadly, though, I believe last year got snowed out, so we only had the 1 night. But hopefully all this cold weather will be past us by the end of January.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
No worries. And you guys should also expect an article in the Northern View this upcoming week, I believe, as I gave an interview last week with them, kind of highlighting some of the French programs as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I have a question for you from trustee Dalton.
Actually, it's a comment. I read the article.
Yep.
Mr. McGee, it's a great article. Loved it.
Okay, that's good. Sadly, there was a few points missing in there that I would like in there, but yes, some kind of, advertising is always good, I guess. So that's always good.
Yeah, it was good. Yes.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
No worries, guys.
Thank you.
Merci
11.3.
beaucoup.
11.3, non-instructional day for our secondary school. I would say that's PCS and Charles Hayes, correct? February 15th. 11.4, we have an Indigenous Implementation Day on February 16th. And then 11.5 is on a Monday with our Family Day statutory holiday, and also it is Louis Royale Day, which is why we will be moving our board meeting to a Tuesday, which will be February 20th. We are now at the spot in our agenda for any questions. Going for a second time. And a third and final time. And not seeing any, I thank you all so much for spending your Monday evening with us, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take good care. Okay.